A week later, the euro strengthens to 1.239598. Okay. So, if the euro strengthens to 1.239598, what do you do once again? We break this down into two. The higher number is the price at which you buy, the lower number is the price at which you sell, correct? So what you sell, you receive, what you buy, you pay. So let's say week 2 you decide to sell 1 euro. Week 1 we bought, week 2 we sell. If we sell, we receive the lower value, which is 1.2395, correct? So I want all of you to copy this down. So we know our buying price and we know our selling price. All we need to do now is to calculate our profit. So we received 1.2395, we paid 1.2323. So how do we calculate the profits? You always calculate the profits by ignoring the decimals. So if I ignore the decimals, how much do we get? 72 pips. Now, 1 pip is how much? Depends whether we do standard or mini, correct? So, if you look at the contract specs, for Euro US, every 1 pip for standard is $10, every 1 pip for mini is $1. So if I look over here, we gained 72 pips. If you multiply this by $10, that's 720. And if you multiply this by $1, that is 72. Okay, so copy this down. Now we have calculated our profits. What do we need to calculate now? We need to calculate to make this profits how much investment we need to do, correct? So for investment, that entirely depends on, once again, whether we are doing standard or mini. For a standard contract for euro, we need 100,000. For mini contract, we need 10,000. So we have already done that calculation, correct, earlier? Right? So now that we know our investment and we know our profit, what do we need to calculate? Our ROI, which is return on investment. So we made a profit of 720 on an investment of 1232. So our return is 58%. And for a mini contract, we made a profit of 72 on investment of 123. So our profit is also 58%. Okay? So copy this down. Now, the good news is, in the recent years, last, I should say 1.5 year, maximum 2 years, a lot of brokers have introduced micro mini. So, with micro mini, basically, your investment goes lower. Okay? Standard contract, it's 1,000. With mini contract, it's 100. With micro mini, it's $50. So, you could actually trade with as little as $50. All right? Now, if you look over here, between standard and mini, if you were to get started, will you trade standard or will you trade mini? You will trade mini. Why? Because your investment is much lower. Ivy? For a standard, you need $1,232. For mini, you need $123. Okay? Now, why do you start with mini? Also because when you do minis, you also make sure you're taking care of your risk management. So let's say there are two traders, trader A and trader B. Okay? Trader A does standard and trader B does mini. And let's say both of them have the same amount of capital. It's $1,232. So they start with the same capital. But because trader A is doing standard, for every one contract he does, his investment is his entire capital, correct? But trader B requires how much? Yes, he requires only, yes, $123. So how many contracts can he do? Yes, he can do 10, but he can do only one contract because he requires the entire capital. Well, he can do 10 contracts. Now, a good trader always knows he will never